I'm going to go ahead and call this Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure to order. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Senator Buck. Senator Hansen.
Here.
Senator Doyante.
Here.
Senator Pazina.
Present.
Chair Wynn.
Here, and if we can mark Senator Buck present when she arrives, that would be great. We are on a shortened timeline today as we have a congressional speech this afternoon at 5. So I want to make sure that we get started as quickly as we can. I am going to start with, excuse me, get this all ready. We're going to I don't know if it's in order on the agenda, but we are going to start with Senate Bill 181 today. For a hearing on that. So at this time, I will open the hearing on Senate Bill 181. I'll give them a little opportunity to go ahead and get this all started and get the PowerPoint up and running. And for committee members, I will let you know that this particular committee bill does have some provisions that relate to higher education and some other education provisions. For the purposes of this hearing here today, though, we are only addressing the license plate section, which is in, let me get the section of the bill. I'll let the presenters go ahead and do that, but we will only be discussing that. Any of the education provisions, it's my intention to re-refer this back to the Education Committee for them to fully vet that portion of the bill. And the timing is so great. Welcome to the table, and I will let you guys begin when you are ready, and I will remind you to please state your name for the record and begin your presentation.
Hello, Chair Wynn. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Senator Cruz Crawford, for the record, and I am here on behalf of Nevada State University presenting Senate Bill 181. However, I have a much better presenter. He will introduce himself for the bill, but I wanted to thank the committee for hearing this today.
Good afternoon, Chair Wynn and committee members. For the record, my name is Ryan McInerney, Deputy Chief of Staff at Nevada State University. My last name is spelled MC capital I-N-E-R-N-E-Y. And I'm here today alongside Senator Cruz Crawford, as well as President Darian Pollard from Las Vegas to present on SB 181. This bill creates a special license plate for Nevada State University to increase visibility for our school, support our forthcoming women's flag football and men's track and field athletics programs, and helps fund necessary items for students and faculty in need. Much of the language in this bill is modeled after UNR's successful 150th anniversary license plate bill from last session, and the DMV has likewise concluded that there would be no fiscal impact. I know Sean Sever from the DMV is in the audience if you have any specific questions about the license plate program. Here you'll see the chosen design for our plate alongside a comparison of current special license plates from UNLV, UNR, the Golden Knights, the Raiders, and UFC. As you'll see, our plate generally follows the designs of the other collegiate plates. Before I open it up to any questions, I will now hand it over to President Darian Pollard from Las Vegas. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, Chair Wynn, and to the committee members. For the record, my name is Dr. Darian Pollard, P-O-L-L-A-R-D, and I'm honored to serve as the president of Nevada State University. Just briefly, I would love to be able to offer a few comments as it relates to this particular bill, SB 181. First of all, I'd like to thank Senator Cruz Crawford for sponsoring this bill. Having known her for several years now, both as a regent and now as a senator, I deeply appreciate her support for higher education and certainly for Nevada State University in particular. During the last legislative session, Nevada State successfully changed its name from Nevada State College to Nevada State University, a name driven by our belief that the title university more accurately reflects who we are and how we deliver our programs and how we uplift students, their families, and our community. For each of you on the committee, along with every other member of the legislature, you demonstrated your understanding of the objectives, and for that, I thank you very much for your support. Today, we seek a simple but yet meaningful way for over 8,500 alumni, as well as our students, faculty, and supporters to express their pride in Nevada's newest university, a privilege already enjoyed by Nevada's other two four-year public institutions. Briefly, let me give you a few reasons why showing support for Nevada State University and its efforts to address critical workforce needs is more important now than ever. Nevada State has the largest nursing program in the state, producing nearly 50% of all BSNs in the Nevada system of higher education. Last May, we graduated our first four-year cohort for our data science program. This fall, we welcome the inaugural cohort of our EDS School of Psychology students, addressing a shortage of counselors in our schools. And we're also in the early stages of developing a nutrition and kinesiology programs to support Nevada's burgeoning sports industries. Speaking of sports, the license plate will bolster Nevada State's brand new athletics program, which has made significant strides in the past year, thanks to the passage of a student fee and generous donations from both the Las Vegas Raiders and the Golden Knights. With the incredible support, we are thrilled to finally bring women's flag football and men's track and field to the four-year level in the state of Nevada. And as we develop our athletics program, a license plate that reinforces our new university and spreads this name throughout the region is most fitting. Additionally, the funds raised from this license plate will address basic needs and food insecurity, a growing challenge as evidenced by record high usage of our on-campus food pantry. Nevada State is the most affordable four-year institution in Nevada, and we offer more grants and scholarships than ever before, but every dollar counts when it comes to supporting our students and fulfilling our critical mission. With that, I'd like to thank you for your continued support and consideration of this great symbol for our institution. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are you ready to open it up for any questions that the committee might have?
Thank you, Senator Nguyen. I just wanted to share that the reason why I decided to carry this bill is because many of the Nevada State university students start at the elementary school I'm a principal of. And so to continue this wraparound resources, I really consider Nevada State University to be like a Title I university, dealing with the same issues that I'm dealing with. And bringing sports to a Title I community is very different than bringing sports to a large institution. It's really a community effort, brings families together, and it helps stabilize first-generation families. So I just wanted to thank you, and I'm going to leave committee or any questions to Ryan or Dr. Pollard, and I'm going to step out. Thank you for hearing.
Perfect, thank you. Do we have any questions from the committee? Seeing no questions, I can move to testimony in support. So if you could just fill in, that would be great. I'd remind everyone to state their name. Brevity is fine. Me too is fine. Ditto is fine as well. Please state and spell your name for the record and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, R-O-D-R-I-G-U-E-Z, with the Nevada System of Higher Education, and she's in support of SB 181. We'd like to thank the bill sponsor for bringing this forward, Senator Cruz Crawford, and we appreciate that this aligns with their board priority addressing the critical needs of food insecurity throughout our system, and in particular in Nevada State. So we urge your support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Leonardo Benavides with the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, also here in support today of this bill and in NSU. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Trevor Parrish, spelled P-A-R-R-I-S-H, and I'm the Manager of Government Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber's in support of SB 181, which allows Nevada State University to have their own license plate design. As you may know, the Vegas Chamber supported the name change last session from Nevada State College to Nevada State University, and the creation of this state license plate will allow alumni and supporters to demonstrate their love for NSU and other institutions do, like UNR and UNLV. The funds generated from these other license plates have gone on to support student scholarships. Thank you for your time and consideration of this measure.
Michael Flores on behalf of the University of Nevada, Reno, here in strong support. We recently passed a bill last session for a license plate, and we've seen so much support come out and also financial support for our students facing food insecurity. So we're in full support. Thank you.
And I think we can go to Las Vegas. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you. Chair Nguyen, Vice Chair Pazina, and members of the committee. My name is Kevin Osorio Hernandez, and I have the honor of serving as the student body president of Nevada State University for my second term. I am here today in strong support of SB 181, and this holds deep significance not only for me, but for the students I also represent. A Nevada State license plate would provide our students with an added sense of identity and pride in our institution. And most importantly, the revenue generated would directly support the development of our athletics program, of which our student government and of course the Board of Regents voted to support and implement. Additionally, food insecurity was one of my top priorities last year and currently now is my goals as the president of the student body. And these funds would of course go to support clothing and other school supplies and more. So this would be an immense bill for pride and fostering a supportive environment for our students of all backgrounds. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Nguyen, Vice Chair Pacina, and members of the committee. My name is Stephanie Flores, for the record, STEPHANIE-FLORES, and I serve as the Vice President of Public Relations for Nevada State University Student Government. I am here today to voice my strong support for SB 181, which would establish a Nevada State license plate. For our students, this is more than just a license plate. It's about representation and opportunity. Having a plate proudly displays our university's name would give students, alumni, and supporters a way to showcase their pride in Nevada State. More importantly, the funds generated from these plates would go directly toward enhancing student life, from expanding our athletics programs to providing essential resources like food, clothing, and school supplies. These investments make a real difference in ensuring that every student has the support they need to succeed. Nevada State University is a diverse and growing institution that is committed to uplifting its students. SB 181 is an opportunity to reinforce that commitment, and I urge the committee to support this bill for the benefit of current and future students. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I don't see anyone else in Las Vegas. If we could go to the phone lines for testimony in support of Senate Bill 181.
If you'd like to testify in support on SB 181, please press *9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Hello, my name is Dawn Greening, for the record, Greening. I'm an alum of Nevada State University. I'm calling to voice my strong support for SB 181, the Nevada State License Plate Bill. As a smaller university in the state, NSU benefits greatly from school pride and community recognition. More importantly, the funds generated from this initiative will directly support athletics programs and provide essential resources for students, including food, clothing, and school supplies. I urge this committee to support SB 181 and help ensure NSU students have the resources they need to succeed. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Good afternoon. My name is Rita Kubitz, for the record, Kubitz, and as a proud Nevadan, I wholeheartedly support SB 181 because it fosters a sense of community and equality. Nevada State University is an important institution, but it often gets overshadowed by larger and more established universities. These universities whose students, alum, and supporters can be represented by simply just their license plates. By creating a special license plate that generates funds directly for NSU, this will help elevate its visibility, support its growth, and enhance its accessibility. This initiative provides a unique way for residents, students, and alum to show their support while also helping to build the university's brand and expand its reach. In doing so, we can unite our community to support all local educations and institutions, as well as opportunities, ensuring that NSU not only survives, but thrives for future generations. The more we raise awareness, the greater the potential for attracting students and support to NSU, which will help it stand out alongside the bigger universities. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Chair, there are no more callers wishing to testify in support.
Thank you. And at this time, we'll go to any testimony in opposition to Senate Bill 181. Don't see anyone coming rushing the table here, which is good. I see people sitting at the table, but I don't believe there is anyone to testify in opposition on Senate Bill 181 in Las Vegas. Can we go to the phone lines to see if there is anyone to testify in opposition?
If you'd like to testify in opposition on SB 181, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers for opposition at this time.
Thank you. And finally, we will go to any testimony in neutral. And go ahead and begin when you're ready, Mr. Severs.
Thank you, Chair. Committee members, Sean Sever from Nevada DMV. We are neutral on SB 181, and I'm happy to report that there is no fiscal impact to the DMV the way the bill is written. We greatly appreciate the bill sponsors reaching out to us and look forward to working with them on this if this bill passes. Thanks.
Can you spell your name for the record?
Yes, it's S-E-A-N, Sean, S-E-V-E-R, S-E-V-E-R.
Thank you. I don't see anyone in Las Vegas at the table in neutral testimony. Someone's walking? Nope, I don't think so. If we can go to the phone lines to see if there's any neutral testimony.
If you'd like to testify in neutral on SB 181, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in neutral at this time.
Wonderful. And with that, I don't think, do you have any closing remarks, either Dr. Pollard or anyone? Nope, I don't see anyone closing remarks. So at this time, I will close the hearing on Senate Bill 181. And at this time, we will move to Senate Bill 91. And I will allow some time for our committee member to come down and get ready to present that bill. And go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to the members of the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure. For the record, my name is Fabian Duñate, and I represent Senate District 10 in Las Vegas. Today I come before you to speak on Senate Bill 91, a bill that will honor the grammatical spelling of an individual's name when issuing or recording official documents. And today I am joined by my intern from UNLV, Leticia Delgado, to present on this policy. Today we will cover the bill language, the background, national trends, and solutions relating to Senate Bill 91. Pretty much what this bill does is, I like my last name, it's ancestral, I like the Enye on it, and I want to be able to have it on my license. That's pretty much what the bill does. But I am going to have Leticia just go over, I know there are questions about the historical context and what other states are doing, and so she's going to cover it just really briefly.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Madam Chair, Senator Duñate, thank you. And I'm so excited to be in front of the members of the committee. My name is Leticia Delgado. That is Leticiadelgado for the record. Senate Bill 91 is an act relating to governmental records. It requires, It requires records of the State Registrar of Vital Statistics. Each county, It requires records of the State Registrar of Vital Statistics, each county officer, and the Department of Motor Vehicles to include a diacritical mark used in the name of a person, requiring identification cards and driver authorization cards issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles to display a diacritical mark used in the full name of a legal person, and also providing other matters properly relating thereto. So I want to begin by contextualizing the usage of diacritical marks, especially in languages spoken by Nevadans like Spanish, Vietnamese, French, Amharic, Somali, and Arabic. Diacritical marks are used to distinguish vowels, tone, and other pronunciation features. Spanish, which is spoken by more than 600,000 Nevadans, applies diacritical marks to names such as Gonzalez, Jose, and even Doñate. However, despite individuals learning to write their names with accents and tildes, registered documents seldom capture the true spelling of names. Although some states do not have explicit mentions of diacritics in their legislation, others, like California, explicitly ban special characters because they're not a part of the English alphabet. Considering that the United States hosts a flurry of languages, such determinations are outdated. Cultural heritage should not be dishonored when having the technological ability to do otherwise. Let's talk about some national trends. Nevada is the fourth leading state in the number of Spanish speakers, but it has not considered a bill that requires diacritical marks before. Instead, states like Texas, North Carolina, Hawaii, and Alaska have long since allowed special characters to be used in their official documents. For example, in 2017, the Texas State Legislature introduced and passed HB 1823, which would require diacritical marks to be recorded in state documents. The bill language in Texas prompts the Texas Department of Safety to ensure that an original or renewal driver's license or personal identification certificate issued properly records any diacritical mark used in a person's name. Now, with that being said, with the permission of Madam Chair, I will now turn it on to Senator Fabian Doñate to discuss the bill and its solution.
Thank you so much, Fabian Doñate, for the record. That's pretty much the conclusion of our bill presentation. Obviously, there are still moving parts. Just as a fair notice, we are working on a conceptual amendment, more of the technical changes, not the concept of the bill of how this is going to be implemented. The biggest struggle that states face, right, is, so as Leticia mentioned, California, some states have an explicit prohibition on diacritical marks. Others, like Nevada, don't have it as part of our laws, right? There's a gray area that exists. The Social Security Administration currently does not allow for diacritical marks. And so there is a way that states are looking at, well, what happens if the state documents don't match? And so that's going to come in our bill amendment. And ultimately, right, as the federal government starts to make regulation changes, we should be equipped to be able to recognize individuals' names, especially if for some reason my parents or if I myself wanted to, or if we were to pass away and we wanted our names to be recognized on our death certificates, we would be able to have it based on what our ancestral name was. So that's pretty much the bill presentation, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. And it's, can I just ask a couple of questions here? It sounds like you have some potential amendments that you are working on. I appreciate that this is in the third week of session and that people are still working on some of the language of the bills. But is that correct, that there are potentially forthcoming amendments?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Fabian Doñate, for the record. That's correct. And more of it is more on the implementation dates as to when certain provisions would take action, right? There's obviously going to be much excitement for folks that are in Las Vegas that are getting married, that want this reflected on their marriage certificates, but there might be some coordination as to what goes first, right? The technological changes through the DMV or the marriage license certificate. And so there are other types of state documents that have to be aligned at the same point. And so all of it starts back to the DMV. So that's what the amendment will come at some point.
Senator Hansen?
Just a quick comment. I thought Senator Donate did a good job today.
I know he gets that all of the time. I am also missing an accent on my name, and so I appreciate that it changes the nature of how my name is pronounced and how it is spelled. So do we have any other further questions? Doesn't look like we do. Do you have any further statements to make? Okay. We will start with testimony in support of Senate Bill 91. If you can come up to the table. Again, I'd remind you to state your name clearly for the record. Spell it if you have one of those names that may not be naturally inclined to know what it sounds like. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Nguyen and committee members. My name is Caitlin Gachanyan, and although I'm usually here in a different capacity, I am here as the chair of the Asian American Pacific Islander Democratic Caucus to support SB 91. The Asian American Pacific Islander Democratic Caucus seeks to maximize the participation of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders as a powerful force in the political process. Recognizing the rich heritage represented by the terms of Asian American and Pacific Islanders, we seek to strengthen and solidify our political participation and leverage that power to create lasting change for members of our community. Naming our children and ourselves is a special and sacred process. Names carry deep cultural, familial, and personal significance. Parents carefully choose names to reflect their hopes, desired qualities, or a stronger connection to their lineage. In many Asian cultures, naming traditions are rich and meaningful. For example, in Chinese culture, a person may have 3 names: Ming, the name given by their parents; Zi, name bestowed upon reaching adulthood; and Hao, a name they choose for themselves. Over time, due to the influence of Western culture, many individuals have also adopted English names, their Hao, to assimilate with navigating society, and often struggles with pronunciation and recognizing non-Western names. This pattern is also seen among Koreans, Vietnamese, and Thai communities, where individuals adopt English names to make interactions easier. This historical pattern of assimilation highlights why recognizing diacritical marks in government documents is so crucial. Diacritical marks are not just symbols, they are essential components of names that convey the correct pronunciation and meaning. Their inclusion provides several important benefits. 1, preserving cultural identity. 2, ensuring proper pronunciation. 3, preventing bureaucratic errors. 4, reducing discrimination and bias. 5, improving access to services. 6, aligning with international standards. And 7, enhancing data integrity. The need for diacritical marks is clear. Recognizing these marks is not just about linguistic precision, it is about respect, inclusion, and ensuring that individuals are accurately represented in the system that governs their lives. Please support SB 91. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Noe Orozco, N-O-E, accent over the E. Thankful for this bill. Last name, O-R-O-S-C-O. I am the Government Affairs Manager for Make the Road Nevada, and we are in support of SB 91. Diacritical marks, such as the accents, the tildes, and the umlauts, are not just ornamental, as was just described in the presentation and in the person who spoke before me, but they also serve that linguistic function, right, changing the pronunciation and even meaning of words. Growing up, personally, whenever I would be writing written communications and I had the ability to put the accent mark, whenever the written communications was sent back, constantly it would just say no. And then also growing up in school, it was always no, mispronouncing, distorting my name. And as just was mentioned, right, just to maybe not challenge the educator, not to really draw too much attention to yourself, you would just basically conform with what was given to you. Noe, noe, no. But as I got a little bit older, I decided that I just did not want to do that, and I wanted to reclaim my identity and reclaim my culture and my name. And so I started letting them know that no, actually my name is not No, it is not Noe, it is Noe. And there is that accent mark over there. So just in closing, names are more than just words used to identify an individual, and we do urge you to support this bill. Thank you.
I'm going to Las Vegas. I don't see anyone at the table, but I will give people the opportunity if they would like to come in support of Senate Bill 91. I don't see anyone there, so we'll go to the telephone lines. Is there anyone in supportive testimony on the lines?
If you'd like to testify in support on SB 91, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers wishing to testify in support at this time.
Thank you. At this time, we will go to testimony in opposition. Is there anyone in opposition to Senate Bill 91? I don't see anyone here in Carson City. I don't see anyone in Las Vegas. Is there anyone on the phone lines?
To testify in opposition on SB 91, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you. And finally, we will go to testimony in neutral. If you could be seated at the table, that would be greatly appreciated. Again, I'd remind you to state your name clearly for the record, and try to limit your testimony to 2 minutes and begin when you're ready.
All right, good afternoon again, Chair, committee members. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. We are neutral on SB 91 and appreciate the bill sponsor reaching out to us. I did tell him that the DMV will have a pretty large fiscal note attached to this bill, and it is specifically the cost for the DMV as well as our vendor that produces our driver's license and ID cards. Our vendor estimated a cost of more than, $200,000 for card production vendor changes. And then our DMV department estimated almost $400,000. So very large fiscal note. Changes will need to be made to the DMV system, which is our mainframe to allow for the input and recognition of the diacritical marks. We are currently in the middle of our DMV transformation effort, and there's also no way we can make the July 1st implementation date. There is a possibility, though, that the DMV programming costs could be significantly lessened if the bill implementation date was pushed back to when the DMV determines sufficient resources are in place. We did that with several bills last session. However, the vendor costs would remain. I do look forward to working with the bill sponsor, though, on this bill. Thanks.
Can I ask you a question regarding implementation? I realize that there's potentially a cost in like recoding and identifying software, and this is probably true of the other counties and the other jurisdictions that are probably coming up here in neutral as well. Is it possible to incorporate those changes as you are updating the software generally as a part of any modernization efforts?
Yes, Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. With our transformation right now, we are working out of two IT systems. One is a very old COBOL system, so that's where a lot of these costs come from, or the vendor costs are separate from that. But yeah, in our new system, that's where the hope comes when I say that we can possibly absorb the cost if the implementation date is pushed back.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for those answers as well. Go ahead when you're ready.
Hello, Ashley Kennedy, representing Clark County. My first name is spelled Ashley, and my last name is Kennedy. Just want to thank the bill sponsor for meeting with Clark County and the other counties as well on SB 91. For us, it was more about some technical questions from the perspective of our clerk, who does marriage licenses, and our coroner, who issues death certificates, on how this would look. We did some really preliminary conversations with our vendor about adding this to our systems, and we think it's capable of doing that with a little bit more time to do so at a minimal cost. But we might need some clarification on, there are certain guidelines for the clerks about names matching on the ID, so that there's no confusion for people who are getting their marriage license on how it should look. And then we'll work through any other technical stuff with the bill sponsor as well, but appreciate him for taking the time to meet with us.
Thank you. I don't see anyone at the table in neutral testimony in Las Vegas. Can we go to the phone lines for any neutral testimony on Senate Bill 91?
To testify in neutral on SB 91, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, Chair. This is Dora Martinez. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you. Go ahead and begin when you're ready. Please state your name for the record.
Thank you. Stop it, Chair. So this is Dora Martinez, DoraMartinez. Chair, I was trying to call in support, and I'm sorry for my delay. May I please proceed?
That's okay. Go ahead and proceed.
Okay, thank you. So thank you to the Senator, and I said this from the very beginning of the session. I mispronounced his name, Donate, because my artificial intelligence said it, but I'm so glad I got corrected. It's Denyate. So it just goes to prove that this is important, and it's a common sense bill, and I appreciate him sponsoring it. And thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. And do we have any other callers in anything at this point? In neutral.
There are no more callers at this time.
Thank you. And at this time, do you have any closing statements? I think we are good. So at this time, I will close the hearing on Senate Bill 91, and I will open the hearing on Senate Bill 113, and we will call Senator Steinbeck up to the table. Please begin when you are ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a pleasure to be here today. Members of the committee. For the record, I'm Senator John Steinbeck, and I represent Senate District 18. I'm pleased to present Senate Bill 113, which addresses parking privileges for people with disabilities in our state. State law provides parking privileges for individuals with disabilities. However, the process of obtaining a special license plate, parking placard, or parking sticker is limited to certification by a narrow range of medical professionals, licensed physicians, physician assistants, and advanced practice registered nurses. This limitation creates unnecessary hurdles for individuals with disabilities who need these permits for daily mobility and accessibility. Senate Bill 113 aims to expand access to parking privileges for people with disabilities by allowing occupational therapists and physical therapists to certify such disabilities. By broadening the scope of medical professionals who can certify applications for special license plates, placards, and stickers, this increases the accessibility and streamlines the process for individuals requiring these accommodations. It's important to note that physical therapists are independent practitioners, and you can go see a physical therapist without seeing a medical doctor beforehand for your injuries, and therefore to be able to get this service. With me today is Paul Young and Susan Pristman, who will provide you with some additional background information. And after that, if you would allow, I'd like to give a summary of the bill.
Thank you, Senator Steinbeck. Thank you, Chair. Members of the committee, Paul Young with Tom Clark Solutions. I'd like to introduce Susan Priestman, Dr. Susan Priestman with APTA, Nevada.
Well, hello, Senator Wynn. My name is Susan Priestman. That's Priestman. I've been a physical therapist for 40 years, 30 years in Nevada. And I'm the president of APTA Nevada, which is our professional organization for physical therapists and physical therapist assistants in Nevada. We work in a myriad of settings. We work in hospitals. We work in post-acute settings, long-term acute care hospitals, SNFs, rehabilitation hospitals. We also work in home health, emergency departments, and in outpatient settings. PTs are direct access practitioners, as the senator just mentioned, who are trained at the doctorate level. We specialize in orthopedics, neurology, cardiopulmonary, pelvic health, wound care, and sports medicine. These specialties reflect our broad knowledge regarding all types of disability. I'm here to introduce Senate Bill 113, a bill to add PT and our colleagues, the occupational therapists, to the list of providers eligible to certify patients to carry a disability placard. The passage of this bill would reduce patient burden and expense for patients that already are dealing with either temporary or a permanent disability. We see patients through the continuum of care as they recover from injury or a disease process. It simply makes sense for the PT or OT who is addressing functional gain on a regular basis to assist with the completion of the disability placard form in order to get that patient functional in the community. A common workflow, here's an example of how the system does not work right now. A common workflow for a patient to receive a placard at present may involve booking an appointment with a physician to have him assess the patient function to assess the need for a placard. Often the physician will charge a fee to fill out the forms, or commonly the physician will send the patient and the form to a physical therapist to fill out. Since PT or OT is not eligible to sign the form at present, they must return the form back to the physician to complete the final review and sign off, get this form back to the patient so the patient may then file for the placard. This is not an efficient system, particularly for patients that are dealing with recent or permanent loss of function. On November 15th, I joined a regulatory board, our physical therapy licensure board meeting, and discussed the association's intent to add PTs as eligible healthcare providers to determine disability for placards. The PT board was supportive of this change, and I believe the board has submitted public comment to that effect. By streamlining this process, adding PT and OT to the eligible list of practitioners, we can create efficiencies for patients. We would reduce unnecessary physician visits and the cost associated with those. And most importantly, we can reduce unnecessary stress and hardship for our patients that are facing either temporary or permanent disability. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Senator Steinbeck, do you have anything further to add, or are you ready for questions?
Dr. Priestman covered almost everything. I'd just like to summarize that all this bill adds is occupational therapists and physical therapists to the list that is authorized for a special license plate or special temporary placard, and that is the limits of the bill.
Senator Dignate.
Thank you so much, Chair. Not a question, but maybe a recommendation since we're opening up the chapter already. One of the complaints that I have from my physicians that work underneath me, and I work in primary care outside of the legislature, so we're the ones that are filling out the forms. There's a lot of confusion, and it's not just this. This is one of the examples, but there's a lot of confusion with patients that need forms signed by their physician or by their provider because they come in and say, "Here you go. This is the paperwork I need to get done." So maybe if there's if there is an amendment that could be floated, it'd be that obviously the participant that has to certify this is a physician or the provider, but they can designate someone within their office to fill out the form and they can certify it, right? Because I think it's hard for providers to take for instance, to take someone in because you're taking up 15 minutes. That could be a regular appointment. Do I bill you for that? Is that insurance fraud, right? Because I'm not seeing you for a general visit. Like, how do I charge you for it? And so I think that would be that would alleviate a lot of the concerns that patients have, because what we don't want is a scenario where we're charging patients $50 to fill out the form, right? And so I'm just giving you that as an example. The only other thing, and maybe this is more of a question for legal, I know there are other provider types that other states do, optometrists, chiropractors. I don't know if they fall under the physician category that we have as a provider type. I'm just giving you that as an example in case I don't know if legal would want to weigh in, but I know that happens in Minnesota. They've expanded that in Minnesota, so yeah.
Thank you, Senator. We'd certainly like to meet with you to discuss some of this further. Appreciate that.
Senator Pacina?
Thank you so much for the presentation, and I'm happy I was here to see the first bill presentation you have, first of many. And it's also so interesting being on a committee with Senator Dignate this session because he has such interesting healthcare insights, and this is the first time we've ever served on a committee together. I was just curious if you know how many other states might also have it in statute where an occupational therapist or physical therapist can also provide the application for the special license plate or permit.
This is Susan Priestman, for the record. Yes, currently there are 12 states that allow physical therapists to certify disability placards. Just last year, there were only 9. So it's growing in momentum as sessions come into play.
And just, I want to clarify, I know that there was a member of the public, Mr. Cohen, who had submitted a potential amendment to your bill. Can you just clarify whether or not that is an amendment that you are considering, or if that is considered at this time and not a friendly amendment?
Thank you, Chair. John Steinbeck, for the record. I did read that amendment and appreciate the input, but at this point in time, we're not considering that language for this bill.
Do we have any other further questions from the committee? At this time, we will start testimony in support of Senate Bill 113. And if I can ask you to fill in those chairs, both in Las Vegas as well as here in Carson City. Please state your name for the record and spell it. And I'd ask you to limit your testimony to 2 minutes and go ahead and begin when you're ready. And we'll start here in Carson City.
Hello, Chair Wynn and members of this esteemed committee. My name is Catherine Nielsen. That's CatherineNielsen. I'm the Executive Director of the Nevada Governor's Council on Developmental Disabilities. We are excited to see this bill come up this year, as we know that it's increasingly difficult for individuals with disabilities to get access that they need in the community, and particularly excited to see the expanded list of available providers. We're hoping to also see, as you did mention, Mr. Cohen's comments, as well as he's our legislative liaison. We're hoping to see some expansion into ABA therapy or autism type services, as those also qualify for the placard. And we know how expensive healthcare is these days, so just getting to any provider that can assist you is very helpful. So we appreciate it, and we are hoping to work with the bill sponsor. Have a good day.
Paul Klein, K-L-E-I-N, with Tri-Strategies. I'm here on behalf of Nevada's Physical Therapy Board, whose members support this bill. Physical therapists, as experts in human movement and rehabilitation, are ideally suited to evaluate and confirm the mobility limitations of their patients. Allowing them to certify disabilities would not only expedite the access to parking placards, but also ensure these assessments are conducted by professionals who regularly interact with patients in clinical settings. Further, SB 113 would significantly reduce the burden on both Nevadans and with disabilities and physicians who shoulder the sole responsibilities for these certifications. By broadening the scope of professionals authorized to certify disability for parking privileges, we can enhance the efficiency of healthcare services, decrease wait times, and better address the immediate needs of our community members with disabilities. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, committee and chair. I'm here in my capacity as, although I'm Senator Dr. Robin Tynes, I'm here in my capacity as a physician testifying in support of this bill. I was very excited when I heard my colleague was bringing this bill forward, but wanted to come here and give a little history on the process of signing these placards. When they became available and the law was originally written, it was only physicians that were able to sign this. As the healthcare provider arena has grown, it was clear to me in my second session that we needed to expand who could sign these, because I would have to go home every night after being here in Carson City, go back to my office where I had a nurse practitioner and a PA covering for me, and I would have to look at who they saw that day, and if they agreed that the patient needed to have a placard, I would sign it off for them. And I thought, well, that's pretty ridiculous. Why aren't they signing this? They are the ones seeing this patient. I was embarrassed that I didn't include physical therapists at the time in that legislation, because I should. As was mentioned in testimony, they are independent practitioners, and many of their patients do not see a physician. And so who best to sign that these folks really do need these placards than the professionals that are seeing them? So hopefully you will support this bill, and thank you for hearing it.
Thank you. We will head to Las Vegas. Go ahead and begin when you're ready. Please state your name as a reminder, and go ahead and begin.
For the record, my name is Matt Olivier, Olivier. I'm an occupational therapist and the advocacy chair of the Nevada OT Association. As an OT and on behalf of NODA, there's a group of us here today in support of SB 113. I'd like to highlight that OTs routinely integrate physical, cognitive, mobility, sensory, and psychosocial considerations when evaluating a person's abilities in our practice, including and specifically safety in community navigation, i.e. driving. So this bill allows us to utilize that expertise in a way that will increase ease, access to patients, and decrease administrative burden of overtasked MDs and their offices. So adding OTs and PTs to this eligible provider list will reduce unnecessary medical visits, streamline these processes, and ensure qualified evaluation and improve accessibility for Nevada residents, including our rural frontier and underserved citizens. So we thank you, and between PTOT Association, we thank you for the time.
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee members, and Senator Steinbeck for sponsoring Bill SB 113. My name is Julia Graham, Graham. I'm here as a representative from NODA. I'm the president, and I'm also the Director of Student Affairs and an assistant professor with Hawaii Pacific University's Occupational Therapy Doctorate Program here in Las Vegas. I come in strong support of SB 113 as this legislation aligns with the fundamental principles of occupational therapy by promoting health, well-being, and participation in life through engagement in occupation. Occupational therapy practitioners are uniquely qualified to address the diverse needs of individuals across the lifespan, supporting occupational engagement and performance, and this bill aligns with the core values of our profession. A crucial component of our work includes functional mobility, which is essential for individuals to move safely and effectively within their environments. So the inclusion of OTPs and PTPs ensures that individuals with mobility limitations receive timely and accurate evaluations from providers with specialized training. By recognizing the role of occupational therapy and physical therapy within the scope of SB 113, Nevada is advancing the ability of these professionals to address environmental and contextual factors and improve efficiency, accessibility, and equitable access to care for our Nevada community. Thank you.
Thank you. And I don't see anyone else at the table in support in Las Vegas. If we can go to the phone lines.
If you'd like to testify in support on SB 113, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last 3 digits, 871, please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Good evening, Chair. My name is Nicole Lang, NICOLELANG, and I'm a physical therapist as well as an educator of future physical therapists working in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I would like to echo Dr. Priestman's comments in support of SB 113. Thank you.
Chair, there are no more callers for support at this time.
Thank you. If we could go to opposition, we'll start here in Carson City. Is there anyone coming to the table? I don't see anyone here. I don't see anyone in Las Vegas. Can we go to the phone lines of anyone in opposition to Senate Bill 113?
To testify in opposition on SB 113, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you. And I will go finally to neutral testimony. It's our favorite neutral fan here coming up to the table. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Sean Sever from the DMV. We are neutral. On SB 113, I'm happy to report that there is no fiscal impact to the DMV the way the bill is currently written. Thanks.
Thank you. And I don't see anyone in Las Vegas in neutral testimony. If we can go to the phone lines for anyone in neutral.
To testify in neutral on SB 113, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, Chair. Dora Martinez, DORA-MARTINEZ. For the record, I am totally blind and I do have a disability plaque and it's good for 10 years. And I heard the sponsor of the bill that it would be also for people who are temporarily disabled. And I was just wondering if it's temporarily disabled, will their plaque say for how long, the duration for that disability? And I do appreciate the bill though, because when I went to get my disability plaque, I had to wait for 3 months for my primary doctor to sign off on it. So I appreciate this and thank you. Have a good night.
There are no more callers in neutral at this time.
I will call the sponsors and the presenters of the bill back up to the table for any closing remarks. If you do have answers to that question that was proposed about whether or not this was temporary or permanent, I'll let you go ahead and answer. If not, it's fine if you want to make your closing statements.
Dr. Priestman, would you like to answer that?
I think that that's a DMV question, really.
Okay. Okay, we'll defer to the DMV for that answer. Thank you. In closing, Madam Chair, this is John Steinbeck for the record. I believe that everybody that came up in support has made a very good case for this bill. This bill is simply to try to make life a little bit better for those that have been injured or hurt or have mobility challenges, to reduce the cost and reduce the time involved to get the placard that they should get, and reduce the difficulties in life. So with that, we'll close.
And thank you for that. And at this time, we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 113, and we will go to our last agenda item, which is public comment. So if anyone has any public comment to make, I'd ask you to come to the table. I don't see anyone in public comment here in Carson City or in Las Vegas. Can we go to the phone line for anyone wishing to give public comment?
If you'd like to participate in public comment, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, the public line is open and working. However, there are no callers at this time.
Sorry about that. At this time, we will close public comment and thank everyone for their efficiency in handling these three bills. I think it was a record, and we heard some good things. So thank you. And at this time, we will close the meeting, and I'll see you next week.